Continuing from the previous episode 1885. Dong dong dong. After waiting in line for a long time, it was Xiao Yan's turn to enter the registration office. After some cumbersome knocks on the door, Xiao Yan also entered it smoothly. Just entering the lobby of the registration office, Xiao Yan looked around and found that there were only 3 people here. The head is an old man. The old man is sitting on the top of the lobby, holding a feather pen and waving it gently, as if recording something. Next to the old man, 2 guards standing like stone statues stand quietly. Tell me your name and strength, and I will naturally decide the type and rank of your army. At the top of the lobby, the old man had a horn on his forehead. Strength. The 2 guards around him were also staring at Xiao Yan, and a solemn aura filled Xiao Yan's body. As expected of the myriad demon nation, this is such a terrifying handwriting. Xiao Yan smiled slightly when he saw this. It was obvious that the 3 guys in front of him were all among the 7-star fighting immortals. Xiao Yan, in terms of strength, it is in the early stage of the 7 stars fighting immortals. After the breath, Xiao Yan said in a very calm voice, as if he was telling a rather simple matter. Oh, 7 stars fighting immortals? At this time, the horned monster old man's eyes lit up, and he couldn't help but glance at Xiao Yan. Judging from the experience of the old man, this Xiao Yan was quite young, and at such an age he was able to reach the level of 7-star fighting immortals. His talent should not be underestimated. Because the lifespan of monsters can basically survive under 10,000 years, and after 10,000 years, it will be the first 10,000-year catastrophe. In addition, the age calculation of monsters is different from that of humans. For monsters, only after the birth of spiritual wisdom and through the transformation of the catastrophe can it be counted as the beginning of the supernatural, and only then can the age be counted. The older the monster is, the older its face will be. Unless some precious medicinal herbs are used, its face will continue to weaken. Is there a problem? Xiao Yan glanced slightly, confronted with the old man, and asked in doubt. 7-star fighting immortals can run for the monster generals in the monster army. I wonder if Brother Xiao Yan is interested? After Shunshi, the old man laughed softly like an old fox. Nowadays, in troubled times, a guy like Xiao Yan who is young and powerful is naturally very welcome. I have little knowledge, and I joined the army just to protect my homeland. How can he compete with many powerful people in the myriad demon nation? My lord's words are under my heart. At this time, Xiao Yan clasped his fists slightly, and there was a trace of a relieved smile on the corner of his mouth, as if he was dismissive of this so-called demon general. This guy seems to have some secrets. The old man took a pen and wrote Xiao Yan's name on the paper, and immediately smelled a hint of danger from Xiao Yan's harmless smile. Wolf General, take him down. There are now 8 new demon generals. I believe this will be a fierce battle. After Shunshi, the old man said to one of the guards beside him. But my lord, isn't this guy? The wolf general, one of the guards, heard the words and looked at the horned old man in confusion, wondering. You just take him there. The rest is up to him. I hope I'm not mistaken this time. The old man with horns pretended to be profound. Yes. As soon as he finished speaking, the wolf general took Xiao Yan away from here and went somewhere. Sir, this guy named Xiao Yan seems to be very dangerous. As the wolf general and Xiao Yan left, the remaining guard spoke slowly. Did you notice it too? This guy seems to be quite arrogant, the indifference in his tone. If he is not possessed of stunts, I am afraid he is a reckless man. But my intuition tells me that he should be the former, because the fierce murderous aura on him cannot be faked. The horned old man smiled. Sir Shengming, but this time in the army, there are many powerhouses competing for demon generals, but there are very few powerhouses who can compete for demon commanders. The guard said hesitantly, Hey, take your time. As soon as the voice fell, calm was restored here. On the other side, the fierce aura on Wolf Yang's body was like that of a vicious wolf, which was suffocating. At this time, he took Xiao Yan to the martial arts arena with a look of resentment. The martial arts arena stands in the underground of the 10,000 Demons Kingdom. It is a special realm built by the 10,000 Demon King himself. Its purpose is naturally to train the army, elect generals, and compete with each other. Nowadays, the number of monsters who have signed up for the army is constantly increasing. Among the monsters, the most powerful and intelligent will be brought here to participate in the battle, so as to elect the commanders and staff who can serve as the army. Humph. Boy, you seem to be extremely arrogant. On the way, he took Xiao Yan to his destination, but the wolf general smelled a hint of contempt from Xiao Yan's harmless smile, and couldn't help shouting loudly. Why do you see it? Seeing this, Xiao Yan immediately restrained a smile and said softly, the few newly promoted demon generals are all real powerhouses. You little arm-end calf, let alone fighting with other demon generals, I'm afraid you don't even know how you died. The wolf general looked on his face. Serious way, you don't need to worry about this, just take me there. Xiao Yan said slightly, today's 8 demon generals, the most powerful ones have the power of the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. You are giving up death in vain. The wolf general snorted coldly, obviously having a lot of dissatisfaction with Xiao Yan's attitude. The martial arts arena is like a circular arena. In the battle area where the bumps go down, and outside the barrier wrapped by the barrier, countless monsters are walking around here, and in the arena below, a field the fierce battle is in full swing. Go down, the 8 demon generals are below. I hope you can survive 1 or 2 rounds. This will be of great benefit to you in the army in the future. After the wolf general finished speaking, he suddenly kicked Xiao Yan into the sunken battlefield. 8 monster generals, it seems that they have some shocking means. Xiao Yan heard the words, but the corners of his mouth smiled invariably. If there were only 8 monster generals whose strength did not exceed the late stage of 7-star fighting immortals, then for himself, it still can't cause any obstacles. Among the army of the demon world, apart from the supreme ruler Wan Yao Wang Zai, he is the demon commander with the highest strength and power. Although Xiao Yan's strength is only in the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals, Xiao Yan's wolf ambition is not just a small demon. After about 10 minutes of touching, a monster with a hurried face ran out of the arena in a hurry with a look of astonishment. What's the matter? The wolf general was still here waiting for Xiao Yan's record, so that he could return to the Lord. Looking at this hurried monster, he couldn't help asking. Lord Wolf General, the big thing is bad. The monster in charge of the message couldn't say a word for a long time. What happened? The wolf general couldn't help but asked coldly. The guy you brought, the monster said slowly. Did you fail? A powerhouse in the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals really can't put much hope in it. The wolf general shook his head, as if he could predict Xiao Yan's record. Cough, cough. Well, if I accidentally didn't control the strength, there shouldn't be a problem, right? At this time, in the battlefield below, 8 monsters of different statures fell to the ground with serious injuries. They were dreaming. Unexpectedly, this guy who laughed harmless to humans and animals actually defeated 8 people with his own power. That kind of shock made the 8 people feel fearful and respectful towards Xiao Yan. The error-free chapters of Fighting the Sky God of Yan Emperor will continue to be updated on linkttonovel.com, and there will be no advertisements on the site. Please collect and share. If you like Yandy of the God of Fighting the Sky, please collect it. The Emperor of the God of Fighting the Sky is the fastest to update. Continuing from the previous episode 1886. Guru, the monster beast judge who was in charge of maintaining Xiao Yan and the 8 newly promoted monster generals to fight couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. When Xiao Yan came here just now, he was met with the joint resistance of the 8 demon generals, but Xiao Yan ignored it. It didn't take long for Xiao Yan, who was as violent as a beast of flames, to defeat the other 8 people one after another with the powerful flames that surpassed the same level. It only took less than a stick of incense to defeat 8 demon generals with one person's power, which shocked the referee demon beast. I announce that Sir Xiao Yan is the leader of the 9 demon generals. After speaking, the demon beast judge also raised his hand and swore an oath. Too strong. This Xiao Yan is really too strong. Especially that kind of amber flame. When the flame came out, the power of the other 8 demon generals was suppressed a lot, so they were defeated one after another. I didn't control the strength, I'm sorry. Xiao Yan heard the words, put away the flames on his body, said with a trace of apology, and walked away to the 8 demon generals. After a while, a trace of gentle power nourished their wounded the body, so that the 8 people who were originally very resentful are now slowly relieved. This Xiao Yan is not only powerful, but also very particular about being a person. Sir Xiao Yan is really talented, I will admire it. The 8 people were shocked, but they also had a good impression of Xiao Yan's behavior of giving first priority to soldiers. Xiao Yan? After the blink of an eye, the wolf general hurriedly got down from the arena and came to the arena at this time. Seeing that Xiao Yan was barely damaged on the field, he couldn't help muttering. Originally, I just didn't want to see Xiao Yan being abused, but now it seems to have evolved into Xiao Yan's unilateral crushing. Lord Wolf General is good. Now I'm the leader of the new demon generals, right? Xiao Yan asked tentatively. His tone was rather dull. It seemed that after defeating the 8 demon generals, he still didn't know what to do. What else could there be? General purpose. What do you want to express? The Wolf General itself is only the late-stage strength of the 7-star fighting immortals. Although he is an old-fashioned demon general, he asked himself that he couldn't defeat the 8 demon generals himself. What kind of tyrannical combat experience and strength would this require? I take the liberty to ask, since I have defeated 8 demon generals now, I have proved my own strength, so can I win the demon general? Seeing the wolf general's vigilant expression, Xiao Yan did not hesitate. Almost blurted out, "What? Fight for the handsome guy? The minimum requirement for a demon handsome is 8-star fighting immortals. You are in the early stage of 7-star fighting immortals. Don't make trouble for me," the wolf general said angrily, but he was also shocked in his heart. Fighting for the name of demon handsome. I am afraid this is Xiao Yan's purpose. How do you know if you don't try it? You said yes, Lord Wolf General. At this moment, the power in Xiao Yan's body became deep, and a terrifying force that seemed to surpass all the powerhouses present swept out, causing the expressions of Wolf General and others to change involuntarily. Seriously, this aura is not something that a powerhouse in the early stage of 7-star Do Xian can possess. Boy, are you rebelling against the army's heart? Believe it or not, I will bring you to justice as my wolf general and deal with it in accordance with military law. The demon commander is the core and commander of the army, but he is not comparable to the demon general. The wolf general got angry and couldn't help roaring. He, I think I can give this guy a try. Just as the wolf general roared, the horned old man slowly came here and said softly, "Old demon, but this is not in line with the rules. If this matter comes out, I am afraid that the 10,000 Demon King will blame it." The wolf general also hesitated at this time. In today's troubled season, naturally I can't follow the rules step by step. Let him try it. Strength doesn't mean everything, does it? Down, laughing. Just give it a try, but I can't guarantee your safety. 8-star fighting immortal powerhouse. You must have the awareness of life and death. The wolf general muttered. In our army today, there are quite a shortage of demon commanders. Even now, there are only 4 demon commanders, and 2 of them have just been elected. Little guy, are you confident? The horned demon said with a smile. Try it. Xiao Yan smiled slightly. Now the 2 newly promoted demon handsomes are Btth2 Demon Handsome, who is half-step 8-star fighting immortal, and Xu Zheng, who is in the early stage of 8-star fighting immortal. Because the competition of the Demon Commander is a very important event in the Myriad Demon Kingdom, so tomorrow, you and the Btth2 Demon Commander will have a public duel here, and the winner will be the Demon Commander. If you can defeat this guy, you will be able to follow suit. Challenge Xu Zheng, the Demon Handsome. The first person in the new Demon Commander is now Xu Zheng. If you can defeat Xu Zheng, I am afraid that your prestige and appeal will be greatly improved. If you fail, you won't have the qualifications to continue to compete for the Demon Commander, but you are still the leader of the 9 Demon Generals. Can you agree? Said the old horned demon. Okay, no problem. Xiao Yan agreed directly. Okay, let's all go away today. Yu Yin curled up, and the battlefield returned to calm. On the other side, in the kingdom of 10,000 demons. Oh, this Xiao Yan is the powerhouse recommended by the Butterfly Valley ancestor? Defeat 8 demon generals with one's own strength, trying to provoke and compete for the position of demon commander? At this time, the old man with horns beside the Wan Yao Wang explained everything that happened today, and the Wan Yao Wang couldn't help laughing. There is an unfathomable depth in it. Send someone to inform Btth2 Yaoshe of tomorrow's battle. If he loses, then hand over the position of the demon commander. Also, let me secretly stare at Xu Zheng Yaoshe. I always feel that his power and intentions don't seem right, because the breath on his body always has some disgusting smells, like a foreign evil clan that is outrageous. WWW. novel MTL link to.com, and now the war is imminent. I don't know where Lord Heisha Longling is now. After speaking, calm was restored here. Susu. The powerhouses of the demon world are just a group of sparse and ordinary straw bags. When I enter the ancient battlefield as a demon commander, I will use the power of these ants to unlock the seal of the demon suppression prison for me, and let the creatures in this demon world be charred, and our soul palace can collect countless demon beasts and demons from it. The plan lays the foundation. Susu. In a rather quiet manner, Shu Zheng's dark voice sounded slowly. In the last place, in a noisy pavilion, a white fox figure monster slowly stands here, and several tall fox monsters continue to be charming. The fierce breath on his body is chilling. Half-step 8-star fighting immortal monster handsome Tnu. My lord, the demon king of 10,000 demons sent a message. Someone will challenge your position as a demon commander in the arena tomorrow. You need to go and prove yourself. Suddenly, a fox monster flashed out of the dark and said quietly. His men. I know. It's just the first stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. Tomorrow, I'll let you know what true death is. You say yes, beauties, hee. After Tnu finished speaking, his body and palms turned towards the beautiful monsters surrounding him. The scene was quite chaotic. For a time, Wan Yao recruited troops in an orderly manner abroad, and I am afraid that the final battle of the demon world is getting closer and closer. The error-free chapters of Fighting the Sky God of Yan Emperor will continue to be updated on link2novel.com, and there will be no advertisements on the site. Please collect and share. If you like Yandy of the God of Fighting the Sky, please collect it. The Emperor of the God of Fighting the Sky is the fastest to update. Continuing from the previous episode 1887. The night was always bleak, and in a blink of an eye it was the next day. In one night, Xiaoyan's fierce name was widely spread in the 10,000 monster nation. For a time, countless monsters were looking forward to the showdown between Xiaoyan and the Tnu monster. One is the powerhouse who defeated 8 demon generals with the strength of the 7-star fighting immortal in the early stage, and the other is the Tnu demon handsome who is half-step 8-star fighting immortal. This level of battle is extremely attractive in today's critical time. The next day, early in the morning, before the stipulated time for the battle, the martial arts arena was surrounded by countless monster soldiers, apparently all to watch the battle between the two and arrive early. Hoo, it's really lively. Not long after, Xiaoyan also arrived at the battlefield smoothly. But today, Jiakong in the battlefield has actually evolved from the original emptiness into a mountain range. You don't need to think about it to know that this is the handwriting of their insiders. The body of Tnu Yaoshe is Tnu, which has a lot of advantages in this wooded mountain range, but Xiaoyan smiled slightly. If it is only a half-step 8-star fighting immortal, it is inevitable to fight. Since the two of you are here, let's enter. At this time, the figure of the 10,000 demon kings slowly flickered out from outside the Duxing Mountains. The figure was rough and contained a touch of unbearable oppression. This level of battle obviously need him to host in person. Hey, I don't know how tall the sky is. I will let you kneel and beg for mercy in a while. Tnu Yaoshe snorted coldly, the snow-white tail behind his back kept shaking, and a very stench of special aura permeated his body. There's a lot of nonsense. Xiaoyan said calmly, and immediately passed through the energy shield of the battlefield and entered the mountain range specially used for battle. For a time, a battle between the monsters and handsomes started slowly. Are you going to get out by yourself or do you need me to do it? Just after entering the vast mountain range, Tnu Yaoshuai's sturdy body slowly overflowed with a dangerous aura. In his eyes, he could clearly detect a trace of contempt and violence. Obviously, this guy was able to advance to the ranks of the demon commander with the strength of the half-step 8-star fighting immortal, because he has the power that he is proud of. This sentence is also given to you. Xiaoyan heard the words, in the originally indifferent eyes, a strong killing intent that could not be concealed, uncontrollably vented out, like a violent beast killing red eyes, which is shocking. I'm a little curious, who gave you the guts to provoke me with the strength of the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals? Could it be that you think your weird flames can subdue everything? The tail of Tnu Yaoshe slowly beats behind his back, and every beat carries a trace of icy killing intent, sweeping out. What a lot of nonsense. With a cold snort, Xiaoyan's fist, mixed with a fiery red flame, slammed into the void of the mountain range with a punch, and the void suddenly burst, a trace of terrifying energy and flame power, whistling. He smashed at Tianyu Yaoshe. Bang bang bang. Watching Xiaoyan's random blow, Tianyu Yaoshe shrank his eyes revealed endless awe, but his body stood motionless in the void, allowing Xiaoyan's flaming fist to strike in his own body. Tear it. The flame fist hit the Tianyu Yaoshe, but it did not cause any fluctuations. It just turned into a ripple of energy and disappeared gently. It seems that the physical strength of the Tianyu Yaoshe has been able to ignore Xiaoyan. A tentative attack. Come on with your true abilities, or you will fall here today. My Tianyu fights with people. There is only life and death, and there is no victory or defeat. While speaking, Tianyu Yaoshuai's body was filled with scarlet demonic aura, which set off his body extremely fierce. Try this. Seeing this, Xiaoyan's dragon god transformation manifested, and immediately fell through the void step by step, and walked over to the heavenly fox demon commander. Vented out. The third transformation of the dragon god transformation, the half-dragon arm transformation. After the breath, a dazzling tortoise-shaped dragon scale appeared on Xiaoyan's arm. Immediately when Xiaoyan exerted the third transformation of the dragon god to the limit, Xiaoyan's body tensed up and his body strength increased greatly. Even on the arm, the light of the pattern of the Underlord is like a real giant in the ocean, sweeping the entire dueling mountain range. Immediately, a terrifying pressure slowly radiated from Xiaoyan's arm. The smell was like a real giant in the world. Dragons. This power? Dragon scales of the dragon clan? Countless people outside looked at the dim light on Xiaoyan's arm and the faint dragon pattern, but lost their voices. Dragons, to a certain extent, are also a kind of monsters, and they are also the top existences among monsters, but because of the particularity of their species, they have been independent long before the war between heaven and earth, and they have become their own boundaries. Of course, even so, it can't change the dragon clan's status as a giant in the demon world. Whether it is strength or physical strength, it makes countless monsters stunned. This kid turned out to be a little reliant. No wonder he was able to defeat 8 demon generals at the same time. At this moment, the contempt on Tianyu Yaoshuai's face slowly dissipated, because it was from the faint light dragon pattern on Xiaoyan's arm. Above the dragon scales, I could smell a real coercion. That level of coercion can only be possessed by the real dragon powerhouses. Obviously, the dragon scales controlled by Xiaoyan now come from the real dragon powerhouses. This made Tianyu Yaoshe have to be serious. Dragon Transformation Fist. Seeing Tianyu Yaoshuai's entire body, the snow-white foxtail kept shaking, and waves of scarlet energy wrapped around him, unquestionably showing his half-step 8-star power. Xiaoyan couldn't help but smile. Road. The power of the dragon god's third transformation is enough to allow Xiaoyan to truly unleash a trace of the power of his dragon scale arm, but he only used the hidden fighting skills of the pattern of the Underlord. Go! As soon as the voice fell, Xiaoyan's face was cold. The faint light dragon scales on his arm erupted with dazzling coercion, and then suddenly pushed out into the void in front of him, a ferocious circle surrounded by dark light. The dragon shadow swept out and roared out, attacking the demon handsome Tianyu. Heavenly Foxtail. Upon seeing this, Tianyu Yaoshe took a deep breath. He clearly sensed a trace of real coercion from this attack, but after blinking his eyes, he snorted coldly, and the snow-white foxtail behind him was abrupt. After leaving behind, it expanded rapidly, and the snow-white fluff on the snow-white fox's tail fell off and blessed on its body, tempering its body like an ancient boulder as indestructible. Ho ho ho! Duoguang Longying is naturally Xiaoyan's terrifying power in the third transformation of the dragon god, and with the help of the power of the tyrant's pattern, just that kind of coercion is enough to truly make the monster beasts be moved by it. Btth2. Longying wrapped around Tianyu Demon Shuai's body, constantly releasing the pressure of the superior, making Tianyu Demon Shuai extremely hideous. Heavenly Foxtail, Thorn. After a while, looking at Xiaoyan's focused expression, the heavenly fox demon Shuai snorted coldly. The snow-white foxtail floating above his body actually seemed to have life, and countless fluffs stood up in awe. It formed an unusually sharp blade and roared away at Xiaoyan, who was close at hand. Good come! The pattern of the Underlord, the Mirage Sky. Xiaoyan saw this, but the corner of his mouth became cold, and immediately the pattern of the Underlord on the dragon scale arm released a dazzling light, and countless water currents seemed to be vented, and a streak lifted the sky. The giant screen enveloped Xiaoyan, setting off his aura like a real dragon creature. At this moment, Xiaoyan's power is extremely tyrannical. The error-free chapters of Fighting the Sky God of Yan Emperor will continue to be updated on linktonovel.com, and there will be no advertisements on the site. Please collect and share. If you like Yandi of the God of Fighting the Sky, please collect it. The Emperor of the God of Fighting the Sky is the fastest to update. Continuing from the previous episode 1888. Crash! The countless waves of water seemed to contain some ancient power, and they just appeared to vent their anger with a terrifying aura that shattered the dead and shackled the ferocious heavenly fox demon commander. It is the void of the entire Battle Mountain range that is filled with an extreme sense of depression and distortion, and the breathing of the two of them has become dignified. At this time, the snow-white tail was actually intercepted in midair by the huge mirage sky, and the huge water pressure wrapped its tail tightly, twisting and crushing the latter. The tail vibrated violently, and after a few breaths, the huge depression was fed back to its body, and a trace of palpitating violence pervaded Ling Tianhu Yaoshuai's cheeks. This level of oppression made Tianyu Yaoshui really moved. He never imagined that a small 7-star fighting immortal early-stage powerhouse could actually display such a tyrannical attack. Little bastard, this commander is going to smash your corpse into 10,000 pieces. After a while, Tianyu Yaoshui hurriedly took advantage of Xiaoyan's loss of consciousness and retracted his tail, looking at the corpse that was crushed by the mirage sky. The snow-white tail that looks like a piercing roar roars out. If it is one step later, I am afraid that this tail will be completely crushed into powder, and then the original source will definitely be lost. This guy is quite strong. As Xiaoyan's dragon scale fist and Tianyu Yaoshui were indistinguishable, and the mirage sky curtain blocked Tianyu Yaoshuai's sneak attack, thousands of people outside the venue were able to do so. The Demon King's eyes narrowed slightly into a line, and a suspicious voice emerged. Based on his experience, he was naturally able to perceive the power contained in the mirage sky around Xiaoyan, as well as the terrifying power above the dragon's arm that shook all things. Pretty powerful guy. After taking a breath, Xiaoyan's dragon scales covered Xiaoyan's arm. The pattern of the Underlord was quietly crawling, and the pattern of the turtle-shaped Underlord slowly surrounded his arm, like an ancient creature from ancient times. Quietly watching the world, Xiaoyan's body instantly retreated, hovering above the huge sea screen. Little beast, this time, I'll see how you cope. Tianyu Purgatory. After he breathed, his withered tail merged with his body, and a scarlet suffocating aura spread out from his majestic body. After a while, it was densely packed like a spiderweb. By the side of Tianyu Yaoshui, the power of the soul. Yu Ming Tianxuan, seeing the furious attack of Tianyu Demon Commander in front of him, Xiaoyan's smile slowly changed from dull to cold. At the same time, an extremely surging soul force was coming. At that time, the double attack of the mirage sky curtain and the power of the soul will completely wrap this mountain range, like a water temple containing all things imprisoned. The water element cage, accompanied by the suppression of soul power, that kind of suppression, even the tyrannical Tianyu Yaoshui, who is like a half-step 8-star fighting immortal, is involuntarily vigilant. Crash! After the blink of an eye, in the entire sky, countless snow-white fluff slowly fell off the Tianyu Demon Handsome, and every shake would make Xiaoyan's terrifying offensive contain a trace of trembling. It's actually Tianyu Purgatory. I didn't expect that even this was forced out. This is a fighting skill at the peak of the holy rank. It seems that this guy named Xiaoyan has made Tianyu Yaoshui pay enough attention. The huge sea screen around Xiaoyan should not be underestimated, and he seems to have some unusual power. What kind of power is that? There are some discerning people outside the Battle Mountain range, and they said after seeing such a fierce battle in the field. This is soul power? Good guy, it's really unexpected. After Shun breathed, the pupils of the 10,000 Demon King became weird, and he smiled gloomily. In the monster world, unless there are special monsters, they basically do not cultivate soul power, and there are very few monsters who cultivate soul power, but the monsters that can cultivate soul power are to a certain extent, physical or combat power. For being weak, in the eyes of monsters, there is only an absolute disparity in physicality or strength. As for the other sidelines, such as the formation caster, they are quite disdainful. Boom! In the field, the two attacked just after contact, and suddenly countless trees and rocks on the entire mountain range, like the end of an earthquake and tsunami, became restless, and even above the void there was a sound of the void collapsing. Boy, let's win with one blow. If you can take this blow from me, the position of the demon commander will be handed over. Surrounded by TNU purgatory, the power of the TNU demon commander has skyrocketed a lot, and even a suffocating aura all over his body. Right on my mind. If you can take this attack from me, keep your mouth shut. Xiao Yan's eyes flickered with dazzling fighting intent, and he showed his strength to the limit, smiling slyly. Bring it on, Heavenly Fox slash. With an order, the shriveled snow-white tail on the back turned into a sharp blade in an instant, engraved with the figures of charming foxes, and immediately slashed down. Countless charming and carrying the violent fox with monstrous aura rushed out. The scarlet sword light flashed with extremely dangerous power, and with the sword light surrounded by countless violent foxes, even if it was a real 8-star fighting fairy, it could only temporarily avoid its edge. Wing Om. The mirage sky curtain, irrigated by the power of the soul, seemed to have vitality, and slowly transformed into a huge turtle-shaped creature composed of colorless and transparent water, entrenched behind Xiao Yan. Watching the Heavenly Fox purgatory with the help of countless suffocating appearances, Xiao Yan was quite unrestrained. When he stepped out, the turtle-shaped creature behind him was also a huge mountain-like body with a touch of a giant Xian in the deep sea. Breath swept away. Peefed. With a sound, the huge turtle-shaped creature directly resisted the slash of Tianyu Yaoshe with all his strength. After the breath, a trace of cracks cracked open on the suffocating sword light, and behind him was like a spiderweb. The celestial fox purgatory and the violent foxes surrounding Daomeng were completely crushed with an aura of decadence. For a time, an awe-inspiring breath and a surging explosion sound suddenly resounded from the void in the sky. This is the power of the Underlord? At this moment, a very complicated expression flashed in Tianyu Yaoshuai's pupils, and just about to resist, a repression from the superior made him unable to move. He could only stare blankly at the huge shadow of the turtle-shaped creature around him, slaughtering him. Baxia is the true king of the Dragon Clan, and the patterned scales on Xiao Yan's arm clearly have the same origin. Boom! The snow-white fluff containing the evil energy just touched the behemoth behind Xiao Yan, and a terrifying destructive force emerged spontaneously, and the energy ripples formed by the dim light energy and the scarlet energy completely exploded in the sky. And even the countless vegetation and rocks above the mountains below were turned into dust in an instant. That kind of shocking battle shocked everyone outside the field. Tianyu Yaoshe, you lost. After a while, the turtle-shaped creature behind Xiao Yan stopped abruptly. At the same time, Xiao Yan's hand wrapped in dragon scales slowly lifted up, pointed at Tianyu Yaoshe, lightly. I lost. At this moment, a sense of decadence appeared in Tianyu Yaoshuai's eyes. He had no doubt that if Xiao Yan hadn't stopped at this moment, he would have been completely defeated in the next moment. It's crushing, it is even possible, to fall directly. Looking at the opening of the Tianyu demon handsome in the field, many other monsters onlookers flashed their surprises. They never imagined that this half-step 8-star fighting immortal ranked Tianyu demon handsome, in the early stage of a 7-star fighting immortal powerhouse. In the hands, it would be so vulnerable. At this moment, the audience was horrified. Continuing from the previous episode 1889. I lost. The deep voice seemed to contain some kind of magic power, and just after it sounded, the whole venue was venting and roaring, and the sound of surprise was endless. The tyrannical Tianyu demon handsome, who is as tyrannical as a half-step 8-star fighting immortal, will actually lose to a guy whose strength is only in the early stage of 7-star fighting immortal, which shocked the countless monsters present, but unfortunately they witnessed this battle with their own eyes, so they had to admit its authenticity. After the rest, the eyes of many powerhouses looking at Xiao Yan became horrified. Really? One? Outside the arena, the Wolf General and the Horned Devil stared blankly at Xiao Yan's figure in the arena, and couldn't help muttering, originally the devil just let Xiao Yan try, who knows it was really successful. Today's Xiao Yan is one of the demon commanders, and he will soon lead the army of the 10,000 demon nation into the ancient battlefield. The word demon commander represents too much. Well, I won, and this guy actually bears the Dragon King's pattern, and even cultivates soul power. It's really surprising. The Wan Yaowing looked at Xiao Yan's figure in the field and smiled. And I don't think this guy seems to be using his full strength. Elder Mo, make arrangements, let Shu Xiao come over in 3 days, and let him try Shu Xiao for us. I still have something to do. I'll leave it to you in the past few days. By the way, I can give Xiao Yan some gifts as appropriate. The meaning of the next is extremely obvious, and it is in a hurry. Obviously there is something urgent. This guy, what a terrifying power. At this moment, the wolf general was more or less shocked in his heart, and couldn't help but muttered, just watching the body in front of him relax slightly. Bai Ji's palm stretched out to him, a moment time hesitated. Oh, forget it, defeat is defeat. You bastard, you really hide it. After the rest in the arena, Tianyu Yaoshe, who put his hand on Xiao Yan's hand, said with a dashing smile. Although he lost, Xiao Yan abruptly withdrew his last blow and extended his hand in a friendly manner. Obviously, he won a lot of goodwill from this guy. After all, monsters also respect their strength, not to mention the strength and temperament of Xiao Yan. A double excellent guy, Tianyu Yaoshe can afford to lose. It's just a fluke. By the way, what is the level of Shu Xiao's power? Xiao Yan supported Tianyu Yansui, and immediately asked softly, Shu Xiao's strength is by no means comparable to Tianyu Yaoshe, and the most fierce battle is still far away. For some time, Xiao Yan had to improve himself and search for information as soon as possible. Very strong. When I was promoted to Yaoshe a few days ago, I played against him. Although this guy is only in the early stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, but I failed even if I didn't persist in 3 face-to-face encounters. That guy's power is extremely strange and extremely sinister. Even if I faced it head-on, I would still have a heart palpitation. At this moment, as if piercing the pain in his heart, Tianyu Yaoshe paused and said, his eyes flashing with a rare helplessness. Is that so? Xiao Yan nodded slowly when he heard the words. Lord Xiao Yan, today's battle is over, and 3 days later, you and Lord Shu Xiao will be arranged to fight. Please go back to the manor. After a while, after Xiao Yan and Tianyu Yaoshe separated, the wolf general came to Xiao Yan respectfully and said, as for the Heavenly Fox Demon Commander, he is still the Demon Commander, but now he is only the last guy among the 3 newly promoted Demon Commanders. Yep, by the way, are there any big purchases of medicinal pills or auctions here? Xiao Yan nodded, and immediately asked the wolf general, do you need to buy anything, sir? As a Demon Commander, you have the right to buy any medicinal materials or medicinal pills that suit your needs from the auction, and our 10,000 Demon Nation treasury will pay for it. This is also a kind of reward given by the country to the generals of the army. General Wolf explained patiently, and such good things? Xiao Yan heard the words and was overjoyed. Xiao Yan knew that being able to defeat the Heavenly Fox Demon Commander had a lot of luck, and what Xiao Yan lacked most now were fighting skills and attacking methods. It is difficult to cause a real killer move. The 7-star fighting immortal level already needs the real peak fighting skills of the holy rank. As for the 8-star fighting immortal, I am afraid that it is enough to control the immortal arts, and the battle at that level will be an earth-shattering battle. Facing the more powerful Shu Xiao, there must be some trump card. Now that the soul power and dragon transformation have been exposed, I am afraid that only the spiritual power and the holy flame power, so I really feel a little helpless. You can't expose your wood attribute and lightning attribute here. That would be extremely bad for your situation. My lord, please. The wolf general took Xiao Yan and slowly left the arena, heading towards the auction house in the myriad monster nation. The 10,000 demons country is vast, so the auction venue is also located in a bustling street in the city. However, it is surprising that people come and go in the front door of the auction venue, but no one passes through the back door, not even the auction venue. At the back door of the magnificent building, a group of demon troops are stationed here, seeming to be on guard. Master Yaoshe, Lord Wolf General, the Wolf General had just brought Xiao Yan here, and the guards who were sharp in aura couldn't help but salute him. Let's come to the auction to buy some things. Is President Su there? The Wolf General nodded slightly and asked with an oppressive aura that was the only one in the army. President Su seems to be receiving a certain important person in the living room. I will bring the two adults here. Please come here. While speaking, the two figures of Xiao Yan, led by the demon guard, moved towards the inner field of the auction hall. Go! The venue of the auction is extremely large, and now the auction has been full of people, and there are obviously many auctions going on. At this time, in the interior of the auction, in a splendid living room, the surrounding area was constructed with countless moon-white jade stones, and it contained a refreshing and peaceful atmosphere. At first glance, it was known that it was used to receive distinguished guests. Xu Xiao Yaoshuai's request is really difficult for us to do. At this time, two figures stood slowly in the hall. One of them was a middle-aged man surrounded by a green aura, looking indifferently in front of him. The black-robed figure opened the mouth and said. The black-robed figure completely covered his body, only revealing the part above his neck. Xu Xiao, who is the first of the newly promoted demon handsomes, has the strength of the 8-star fighting immortal in the early stage. He. President Su should be a strong man who understands the truth. Besides, the crystals I want to buy are all preparations for entering the ancient battlefield. I hope President Su will not misinterpret what I mean. The black-robed figure said softly. A hint of warning emerged, and then Xu Xiao said softly. Prepare to enter the ancient battlefield? It seems that this Xu Xiao really has a big problem. President Su smiled slightly and did not promise him the first time. Xu Xiao came here today, and he was begging for a special crystal called Evil Crystal Demon Block. If this crystal was placed at an ordinary time, there would naturally be no problem. But now the problem is the effect of the Evil Crystal Demon Block. It can absorb the power of evil or special magic energy, thus temporarily opening up a narrow crack, which is a must for entering some evil and dangerous places. There seems to be a demon suppression prison in the ancient battlefield, and now Xu Xiao's mind is probably slowly clearing up. Hey, isn't this Master Xu Xiao Yaoshe? Long time for a long time. At the same time, when the two were deadlocked in the field, a refreshing laughter slowly spread out. The people who came were Xiao Yan and the Wolf General. And it looks like an hour or two later. In this dormitory now, the final exams are all night for endorsement. Yesterday, I didn't sleep until 4 o'clock in the morning. After the exam at 12 o'clock in the morning, I came back to make up my sleep, and it will be later. And tomorrow's English review, the test on Wednesday. I think they have to stay all night too. It's two difficult exams are over on Wednesday, and it's going to explode on Thursday until the end of the year anyway. I think 5 and 6 is the limit. Of course, if the ticket rewards a little more, 10 is also possible. When the time comes, please slap me in the face as much as possible. At the end of the year, it will always be crazy once. End of this chapter. Please remember this book's first domain name. Tang San Chinese website mobile version reading website.